In this video, I want to talk about what is living in the state of wish fulfilled, why is it necessary, and how do we do it. I'm going to answer all of that question, and I'm also going to talk about what to do when you feel like your desire seems really far off and how to be living in the state of wish fulfilled. So we're going to talk about all that in this video. If you're interested in learning more about this, stay tuned and let's get started. Welcome back to this video. My name is Rav. I'm a manifestation coach, and if you want to work one-on-one with me, the link is down in the description box below. I only offer coaching services right now, but maybe in the future I'll have some courses down too. So living in the state of wish fulfilled means basically you're embodying that version of yourself who already has that desire. So you're already in that state of that mindset. You also feel certain kind of emotions of that person who already has whatever is it that you desire, whether it be tons of money in your account, a new house, or a new relationship, or a specific person, whatever is it that you desire. When you're trying to imagine or you're trying to affirm, you might notice sometimes when you feel calm, when you start to really, tune into that version of yourself. That's basically what the living in the state of wish fulfilled means. And it's really similar to living in the inn, because you're basically embodying that state of that person who is already living in the end of someone who has whatever is it that you desire currently. So let's talk about some examples here just to make it clearer, okay? So let's say that you're trying to manifest $1 million in your bank account, and I don't really like to talk about time limits, but let's say in a matter within a year or so, right? You'd have to be thinking in a way that he or she would be thinking if they already had that $1 million. So you can basically visualize, you can basically affirm, but that version of who you are going to be in a 1 year's time, they have certain kinds of emotions, certain kinds of feelings, certain kinds of mindsets, certain kinds of circle, like social circle too, right? I mean, they have different kinds of things going on in their life which you currently do not have. So when you start embodying that person who already has whatever is it that you desire, that's when you're actually embodying the state of the wish fulfilled. Maybe when you're thinking about a specific person right now, you might think like there's a lot of anxiety comes up, right? When you think about them, it makes you feel like there's a lot of separation with that person. But that person who you were to be, if you were already in a relationship, they would feel differently. They would think differently about not just their specific person, about themselves too, who they are in relation to their specific person, right? So it all comes down to self-concept too. Maybe they would think that their specific person is very trustworthy, and even when their specific person is away, they would feel like they're still close to them, because they feel like they're close within, not just like in the physical reality, but even from within, they feel very close to this specific person, right? But right now, if you are having some difficulty trying to manifest a specific person, if you just look at the current reality, you might just feel like there's a lot of separation between you and your manifestation. I mean, it could be a specific person, but also same thing with $1 million, right? It just might feel the manifestation is really separate from you, right? So the more you do it, the more you start saturating yourself in that reality of that version of yourself who already has whatever is it that you desire, the more easier it's going to be for you to manifest whatever is it that you desire. Also, I know, sometimes there's a lot of fears and anxieties that come up, especially when there are a lot of things showing up in the 3D, a lot of circumstances and things like that. So what do we do about it? You basically just don't react to it, and you just keep persisting onto your assumptions. The more you persist onto your assumption without reacting, the easier for you it's going to be to, get to your goals faster. But sometimes you do react. There's no big deal, but like Steve Jobs says in his one of the most famous speech that he gave, you can only connect the dots looking backwards, right? But right now you probably can't see, but even those negative things that you might be experiencing might be actually leading up to whatever you are trying to manifest. So if you start thinking of even the negative circumstances in a way, it's like these dots that are appearing in your journey of manifestation to get to your end goal. It's gonna make it more easier for you. I know like sometimes you do react, sometimes like things happen, it makes you sad, sometimes it makes you feel disheartened and all that kind of stuff. That's okay. But you always keep coming back, and when you look at those little dots in, you know, the journey, which is maybe like the positive dots or the negative dots. In this case, I'm referring to the negative dots as the circumstances, which is undesirable, right? So when you look at those dots, you can just be like, oh, it's still adding on, you know, it's still like leading me up to my manifestation journey. So I'm still going up, actually, even though this seems like it's really tough for me right now. It's not actually that bad, you know. It's still helping me get to where I want. It's still helping me get what I want. So you have to keep coming back to that kind of thinking, and the more you start doing this, it's gonna be easier for you. I mean, let's talk about Apple, since we're already talking about Steve Jobs, right? He was fired from his own company that he started, you know, but he went out, did his stuff, you know, like he just maybe worked on his self-concept. I mean, I don't want to really talk about like what he did in his personal life, but you can just think of it in that way, right? He worked on his self-concept. When he came back, he wasn't just somebody who would be tossed around, right? If you've seen that movie Steve Jobs, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. So when he came back, he started like letting go of all the people who were actually running the company, and then after that he was able to, you know, create the Apple that we know of today. But you don't have to react. That's what I'm trying to say. You can just keep looking at the dots and just be affirming to yourself, even though this seems like negative, it's still leading up to where I want to be. It's still helping me get what I want, right? So the more you start dwelling from this kind of mindset, which is the state of the wish fulfiller game, the easier it's going to be for you to get to where you want to be. So that's all I wanted to share in this video today. I intend this video was of great help to you guys, okay? If you want to work one-on-one with me, the link is down in the description box below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, guys. So I'll see you very soon. Goodbye and namaste.